Hello and welcome once again to Woke Watch, an ongoing series of videos where I find the most ridiculous woke stories currently gracing the internet, and together we can deconstruct them so that both of us can smell the bullshit. Meet Julia Carey Wong, a journalist for the extremely left-leaning Guardian newspaper. But not the Guardian here in London, no, she works for the Guardian in San Francisco, so fuck me backwards is she ticking all the woke boxes. And she's perfectly laid out woke ideology with this statement which she gave on Twitter. I think we're entering a period where the most important political distinction will be fascist or anti-fascist. So fascist or anti-fascist, two distinct groups. Imagine suggesting there were only two types of anything, such as gender, but fascist or anti-fascist. So no subtlety, no nuance, no grey areas. Basically the message is, I think this politically, and if you don't agree with me, by default you're a fucking Nazi. Or put another way, it's saying, I perceive myself as a victim, and if you don't play along with my victimhood, then I will see you automatically as the oppressor, which allows me to go online, call you everything under the sun and try and destroy your life. So it should come as no surprise whatsoever that Miss Wong is also a militant trans rights activist. Yes, the trans thing once again. And whenever I'm searching the internet looking for woke news stories, you can guarantee there'll be something about trans rights activists in the headlines. And I've said this so many times. If you're watching this and you've got gender dysphoria, if you are transitioning, I wish you the very best life. But also, I'll say that the trans community seems to create most of its own problems. Because, for example, whenever Donald Trump would say something on the news when he was president, I would get online straight away to say, as a straight white man, he does not speak for me. Those are not my views. But the trans community simply doesn't fucking police itself. And if proof were needed for this, I would recommend turfisaslur.com, which is a website dedicated to highlighting the aggression, hatred and violence shown by some trans women and their woke fucking activists towards biological women. Such as this trans woman, with her shirt saying that she proudly punches TERFs. There are various posts saying that TERFs should be executed. And page upon page of demands that the language be changed to eradicate female biology. Aren't they fucking delightful? If you're unfamiliar with the term, TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. These twisted, bitter women with evil ideas such as, if you're born with a cock and balls, you should stay the fuck out of women-only spaces, and the same should apply to female sports. Or how about this for a wild notion? That it's wrong, and this is a growing trend, to pressure vulnerable lesbians into having sex with trans women to prove that they're real feminists. Because to me, that's not a million miles away from rape. And in no way would I ever say I'm a radical feminist, but when it comes to this shit, I'm Team TERF all the fucking way. But an argument made by our new friend Julia is that if you question trans ideology, you are automatically a card-carrying fascist. To question the ideology. It doesn't mean you have to be some religious lunatic waving the Bible around screaming trans people are an abomination. It doesn't mean you're not clear on what the ideology is, so you're asking for a clearer explanation. If you question it, if you try and use your own brain to find your own conclusion, change your name to Adolf. And let's remember, she works for the San Francisco Guardian, a newspaper which last year ran a story suggesting that another news story, the story of a trans woman going into a female-only naked spa and deliberately exposing her penis to women and underage girls, was propaganda from the far right, that it never really happened. And they kept running that story right up until the trans woman was convicted, where it transpired she was already a fucking sex offender. Miss Wong had suggested that the story was made up to promote transphobia, whereas what actually happened was a few days after the incident, several women gathered outside the spa to hold a peaceful protest, demanding that people with dicks not be allowed into female-only areas. And what happened next was that trans right activists descended on the area and kicked the shit out of those women. Because as we know, trans people and their allies, they're always the fucking victims. Now we know that attacks on trans people are on the increase, and that is terrible. No one should be attacked just for being who they are. But I'll also say, I think the main causes of transphobia is shit like that. And it's just been Pride Month, and there were multiple accounts of trans activists turning up at Pride events just to get violent with gay men and lesbians. Now let's be fair, in the LGBTQIA+ community, it's the L's and the G's that put in the legwork. Everyone else is riding their fucking coattails. And let's not forget, there are a number of the L's in the LGBTQIA+ community who want the T's thrown out. Because they get so much media attention, and it's always for the wrong fucking reasons. Such as Miss Wong, a woke trans activist ally, who's decided to say that anyone who doesn't agree with her to the letter is aligning themselves with the people who committed the worst thing that's ever happened. Let's be clear, wokeness has nothing to do with equality, even though those that dance the wokey cokey profess that it does. No, it's about special treatment, it's about privilege, it's about people who perceive themselves as being oppressed, even though in the Western world they generally aren't, demanding more rights than everyone else, demanding reparations for things that haven't happened to them. And every single time they try and make their arguments, they spectacularly fuck it up. I mean, if someone had given me unlimited resources and 6 months to come up with a tweet more damaging than the one that Julia Wong made, I wouldn't have got anywhere fucking near it. And as this video comes to an end, for anyone who's watched it and you've been offended by the things I've said, please take a moment and put yourself in my shoes. You see, I'm a middle-aged, cisgendered or normal, straight white man. I'm from the group in society, the only group in society, which it's okay to openly hate. As ever, thanks for watching.